everyone, Kyle here from Pixelwave. Today I wanted to show you guys how to get texture sets out of Substance Painter into 3ds Max and get them linked up to the Corona physical node using Corona Render. It's a mouthful, I know. I'm using Corona 13 Hotfix 1, so that you have the same version as me if you do. The maps that I pull out of Substance Painter, if we go through the list here, base color, which is like your diffuse, it's now roughness instead of glossiness. I use anastrophe, but I also use anastrophe angle in case we want to rotate it or have a rotation on it. IOR we get out, metalness we get out, opacity I pull out, self-illumination, which is emissive, I use. Displacement, I use height for displacement, and then sometimes I'll use height for the bump depending on how much push and pull I need. If you obviously need like something like bricks on a wall, you need that depth, you'd want to use the height in displacement. If it's just kind of like extra bump texture, then I do a Corona normal node piped into that. We'll go over that later. Sheen amount, I don't pull anything out like that. I think that's it. The only other thing is opacity, which is opacity color here. I pull out of Substance Painter as well, depending on what I need, like a chain link fence if you wanted to do something like that. So let's hop over to Substance Painter. I've got this chair here that I just needed to make look dirty for a project. So I slapped it in here and made it look dirty. So what we get natively in Substance Painter doesn't follow Corona. They haven't updated it. I don't know. Who knows why? So let me show you that first. If I go to Export Textures, we go to Output Templates. It gives us diffuse, reflection, which I don't really use reflection, glossiness, IOR, normal, height, emissive. So like where is, roughness instead of glossiness? Where is anastrophe, opacity, all that stuff? So the one that I set, Corona Metal. So what I did is I right-clicked and did duplicate and made another Corona. And then I just loaded it up with the stuff that I needed. So let me open this up more. Base color is that. Roughness. So what I did is I took roughness here and just piped it in. Boop. And it's a gray channel, no alpha. Same thing with IOR. I grabbed that, moved it over. See, normal and height were here. Emissive, I think, yeah, emissive was already here. We just grabbed that and moved that over. That's pretty easy. Metallic, same deal. Move that over. So then anastrophe angle and level. What you need to do with this is create another gray channel. What I did was just grab this guy up here, put it down, and then put right here, anis level, underscore level. And then what I need to do is up here, anistrophe level, put it in here and just say gray. That's it. I did that for anistrophe level, anastrophe angle, and then opacity into opacity. And all these are gray maps. So if you notice gray, 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 emissive is an RGB, right? Because you can get color in it. Height is gray. Normal is color because it's colored, gray colored. Okay. So that's it. You could add more stuff to it. I don't really use anything else. Like if you wanted to put the ambient occlusion into the model itself and not do like a render pass at the end, stuff like that. But you could at least set it up, and that's what I wanted to teach you. Additionally, what if you don't have the opacity option in your fill layers? Let me show you how to do that. So under texture settings here, see, we don't have opacity. Like if I was to go and I add another fill layer here, there's no option for emissive. There's no option for opacity. So texture set settings, we're going to say plus, we're going to go opacity, done and done. Okay, so then all we would do is down in the fill layer itself, we click opacity, and then we could turn the opacity up and down if needed. This shader doesn't have, it's just a metal roughness shader. It doesn't have opacity in it, so we can't see it in the viewport. So that's a little tricky, but if we changed it, we could, and you'd be fine. So another one would be like omissive. So if I did omissive here, and then I could turn this to, so it would glow red, right? And then once you have this information down in the actual texture set itself, then it'll get output once you export the texture maps and get them into Substance, or get them into 3ds Max. So let's do that. I'm going to go export textures, and we're going to say here, I'm going to put them, actually I already have them exported. They're piped into this dirty chair, And I always do PNG 16-bit. They're a little bigger, but you're going to get more data out of it and less stepping in your textures themselves. And that's it. And I'm just going to say export. Now, if I jump back to 3ds Max, let me get my textures here. So it's only going to export what it has data for. So I didn't have opacity, I didn't have omissive. So it just gave me the maps that I have. So if I move this over here, boop, 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 we'll get this set up so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I go base color straight over. I've turned my blurring down to 0. Now, sometimes if you have really noisy texture maps, putting this down to 0 can increase render times. So sometimes it's nice to blur. Another good reason to blur would be displacement maps. Sometimes you get stepping in that, or sometimes the data is too noisy. So having a little bit of a blur will kind of help smoothen out the actual map itself. Most of the time I don't care about render times. I just want it to look good. So I pull that down. Height and normal will come down here. And then I'll pull one of these Corona normals and connect these up. Now this needs to be gamma corrected, so I click that. I could go into here and gamma correct it this way, say override to 1. That's an option. It's just quicker when we're setting up tons of maps to not have to do that. So I just do it in this little toggle here in the node, a Corona normal node. And then this goes into, where is it? Base bump. Okay, same deal, 0. And then 0. And I don't need displacement information on this because it's just going to be kind of at a distance in my render. IOR will drop down. This one is actually color corrected, so we'll go 1. Let me actually show you something. So if it looks, your shader ball looks like this. Okay, go away. If I turn the color correction off, it'll look funky. Oh, actually, maybe it's this one that looks funky. Yeah, you get these like facets. These like, just looks like a low poly sphere instead of a high poly one. So if you can see all these faces on the actual shader ball itself, that's the normal map. For some reason, I thought it was the IOR. But let me see, is this done? No. If the IOR is wrong, if you notice, it'll look really shiny. So if your shader ball looks super shiny, check your IOR map. Lastly is roughness. So roughness goes in. Same deal with this one. This one needs to be color corrected. Boop. There you go. Metallic, this is just, I had no metallic data, so it doesn't really make sense to pop it in. It's going to default, let's see here. It's a non-metallic, so it's going to default to black in that anyways. So if I apply that to this guy, there we go. Let's see, we'll kick on a little render here. Behave. There we go. There you go. That's how you get textures out of Substance Painter into 3ds Max using Corona Render. If you have any questions, toss them in the comment, and I'll do my best to answer them. Have a good day. Bye!